I'm sitting at the Thanksgiving table, surrounded by my entire family, when my sister Claire leans back in her chair, wine glass in hand, and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "So Daniel, still pretending to be an entrepreneur?" The whole table erupts in laughter. My mother is wiping tears from her eyes. My father is shaking his head with this knowing smile. My Uncle Jim is slapping the table so hard the dishes rattle. My brother Marcus is grinning into his mashed potatoes. And I'm sitting there, fork frozen halfway to my mouth, feeling my face burn with that familiar mixture of shame and rage I've been swallowing at family gatherings for the past 5 years. That's when my phone starts ringing. The name on the screen makes my heart stop. Marcus Chen, CEO of Meridian Capital. The same Marcus Chen whose office I'd sat in 3 weeks ago, pitching the business opportunity that could change everything. The same Marcus Chen I'd been waiting to hear from every single day since that meeting. The same Marcus Chen who, according to my calculations and every piece of conventional wisdom I'd read about venture capital timelines, should have rejected my proposal by now. I look at the phone. Then at my family, still laughing at Claire's joke. Then back at the phone. The name keeps flashing. Marcus Chen. Marcus Chen. Marcus Chen. If I had known what answering that call would reveal, if I had known what it would expose about my own family, about the people sitting at that table smiling at me, I would have walked out of that house right then and never looked back. But I didn't know. Not yet. I didn't know that someone at that table had already betrayed me in the worst possible way. I didn't know that my success had threatened someone so deeply they'd tried to destroy everything I'd built. I didn't know that the laughter around that table wasn't just mockery, it was guilt, deflection, fear of being exposed. I never thought I'd be telling this story. Not because it's painful, though God knows it is. Not because it's embarrassing, though parts of it definitely cut deep. But because for the longest time I convinced myself it didn't matter. That family is family, and you accept them as they are. You forgive their cruelty because they're blood. You swallow their jokes because they don't mean real harm. I was wrong about all of that. My name is Daniel. I'm 32 years old, and up until that Thanksgiving dinner, I thought I knew exactly where I stood with my family. At the bottom. The family disappointment. The cautionary tale. The one who couldn't get his life together while everyone else thrived and succeeded and made the family proud. Let me paint you a picture of my family, because it matters. It all matters. Claire is my younger sister by 3 years. She's a corporate lawyer at one of the biggest firms in the city. Makes $200,000 a year base salary, plus bonuses that probably push it closer to 300. Drives a Tesla Model S, lives in a penthouse downtown with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the river. She wears designer suits and goes to charity galas and has her photo in the society pages. She's everything my parents wanted in a daughter: successful, prestigious, respectable. My younger brother Marcus, yes, same name as the CEO, total coincidence, which I always found oddly prophetic, is a cardiovascular surgeon. He's only 28 and he's already one of the most respected surgeons at Memorial Hospital. Our parents never shut up about him. Never. Every conversation somehow circles back to Marcus saved 3 lives this week, or Marcus was featured in a medical journal, or Marcus is speaking at a conference in Switzerland. My Uncle Jim owns a chain of car dealerships across 3 states. Started with 1 lot 30 years ago and built an empire. He's the self-made millionaire of the family, the one who proves that the Morrison bloodline has business acumen in its DNA. My Aunt Linda is a real estate mogul. She's flipped over 200 houses and owns a property management company that handles luxury rentals. She shows up to Thanksgiving in a different expensive car every year. And then there's me. Daniel Morrison. The oldest child. The one who was supposed to set the example for Claire and Marcus. The one who had so much potential. I dropped out of business school in my 2nd year to start a tech company that was going to revolutionize food delivery. We were going to connect local restaurants with customers in underserved neighborhoods. It was brilliant on paper. In reality, we ran out of money in 8 months. I lost everything, including the $40,000 I'd borrowed from my parents, which my father reminds me about approximately once per quarter. Then I tried again with an app that was going to compete with Uber but for medical transport. Non-emergency medical rides for elderly people and disabled folks who needed to get to appointments. Another brilliant idea. Another spectacular failure. 18 months of my life and $60,000 of investor money, gone. After that, I spent 2 years doing freelance consulting for startups. Writing business plans, doing market research, building financial models. It paid my rent most months. Barely. I lived in a studio apartment in a part of town my family members wouldn't be caught dead in. I drove a 15-year-old Honda Civic that made concerning noises every time I started it. I wore the same 3 suits to every client meeting, rotating them carefully so no one would notice. I was the family screw-up. The one who had big dreams and no follow-through. The one whose name came up at family gatherings as a cautionary tale. Remember Daniel's brilliant idea to revolutionize food delivery? Claire would say, making air quotes around revolutionize, getting laughs every time. Oh, or that medical transport app that was going to compete with Uber? Marcus would add, shaking his head with this smile that wasn't quite mean but wasn't quite kind either. And they'd all laugh. Every single time. My parents, my aunt, my uncle, cousins I barely knew. They'd laugh and shake their heads and someone would always add, well, at least he tries, which somehow felt worse than if they'd just called me a failure outright. And I'd sit there, smiling like it didn't cut deep. Nodding along like I was in on the joke. Pretending that each laugh didn't feel like a small death of my dignity. But that Thanksgiving was different. Because 3 weeks before that dinner, I'd been sitting in Marcus Chen's office on the 47th floor of the Meridian building, hands sweating so badly I had to keep wiping them on my pants, throat so dry I could barely speak, presenting the opportunity I'd been working on for 18 months. 18 months of every spare moment. Every dollar I could scrape together. Every connection I could leverage. Every skill I'd learned from my previous failures. I'd built a platform called ManuConnect. It connected independent manufacturers with small and medium-sized retailers, cutting out the massive distribution networks that were strangling both sides with fees and inefficiencies. The manufacturers got access to more buyers and better prices. The retailers got access to unique products without going through 3 layers of middlemen. I took a small percentage of each transaction. Simple. Elegant. Solving a real problem. I had the technology built and tested. I had 43 manufacturers signed up. I had 62 retailers actively using the beta version. I had data showing that both sides were saving an average of 18% on costs. I had testimonials from users saying the platform had transformed their businesses. I had projections showing profitability within 14 months of full launch. I had a roadmap for expansion. I had partnerships ready to activate. I had everything. What I didn't have was the capital to scale. That's why I was in Marcus Chen's office, wearing my best suit, the navy one that still looked decent if you didn't look too closely at the fraying cuffs, asking for $2 million. $2 million to hire a real development team. To build out the sales and marketing infrastructure. To expand to new regions. To turn my scrappy beta platform into a real company. The meeting had lasted 45 minutes. Marcus Chen had asked hard questions. Really hard questions. About customer acquisition costs and lifetime value. About churn rates and network effects. About competitive moats and scaling challenges. About technology architecture and data security. I'd answered every single one. Not because I'd memorized talking points, but because I'd lived this business for 18 months. I knew every number, every assumption, every risk, every opportunity. He'd been impressed. I could tell. The way he leaned forward when I explained the network effects. The way he'd made notes when I walked through the unit economics. The way he'd smiled slightly when I'd shown him the user testimonials. But he hadn't committed. I'll need to review this with my team, he'd said, shaking my hand at the end of the meeting. His grip was firm, professional. His expression was neutral. We'll do our due diligence and be in touch within 3 weeks. Standard timeline for opportunities like this. I understand, I'd said, trying to keep my voice steady. Thank you for your time and consideration. You've built something impressive here, Daniel. Regardless of our decision, you should be proud of what you've accomplished. Those words had kept me going for the past 21 days. You've built something impressive. A CEO of a major investment firm had said that to me. About my work. My business. But 3 weeks had passed. 21 days of checking my email every hour. Of jumping every time my phone rang. Of anxiety dreams where I was back in Marcus Chen's office but I couldn't speak, couldn't remember my numbers, couldn't explain why my business mattered. And I hadn't told my family about any of it. Not about the Meridian meeting. Not about the potential investment. Not about the 18 months of work. Nothing. Why would I? So they could make fun of me when it fell through? So Claire could add it to her list of my failures and turn it into a punchline at the next family dinner? So my mother could give me that look, the one that's supposed to be sympathetic but really just communicates pity and disappointment? So my father could launch into another lecture about practical career choices and the importance of stability? No. I'd decided to wait until it was real. Until the money was in the bank. Until I could walk into a family dinner and finally prove once and for all, that I wasn't the screw-up they thought I was. That I was actually building something meaningful. Something successful. Something that mattered. But sitting at that Thanksgiving table 3 weeks later, watching them laugh at me, I was starting to think the call would never come. That Marcus Chen had been politely impressed but ultimately unconvinced. That my 18 months of work was going to join the growing pile of Daniel's failed ventures. Until the phone rang. The phone is still ringing. Everyone's looking at me now. The laughter has died down but there are still smiles on their faces. That moment of superiority where they put me in my place and reinforced the family hierarchy. You going to get that, Danny? My father asks. He's the only one who still calls me Danny. Everyone else switched to Daniel after I turned 30, like it was a consolation prize for being a perpetual disappointment. Here, have an adult name even if you don't have an adult life. It's Thanksgiving dinner, Danny, my mother adds. Whoever it is can wait. We're having family time. But I'm staring at that name on the screen. Marcus Chen. The call is on its 8th ring now. Soon it'll go to voicemail. I should let it. I should stay at the table, finish the meal, keep pretending everything's fine. Keep being the family screw-up who takes the jokes with a smile. But something in me breaks. Or maybe something in me finally solidifies. Becomes hard and certain. I stand up. I need to take this, I say. Claire rolls her eyes dramatically. Of course you do. Let me guess, another brilliant business opportunity that definitely won't fail like all the others? The table laughs again. Smaller laughs this time, more polite, but still laughs. My Uncle Jim raises his wine glass slightly. Tell them we said hello from the real world, Danny boy. More laughs. I walk away from the table without responding. My phone is still ringing. 9th ring. Maybe 10th. I'm in the hallway now, pressing the phone to my ear, hand shaking. Hello? Daniel. Marcus Chen. I hope I'm not interrupting your holiday. His voice is professional, neutral, controlled. The voice of a man who makes billion-dollar decisions before breakfast. I can't read anything from his tone. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. No, it's fine. What can I do for you? Please be good news. Please be good news. Please be good news. I wanted to discuss your proposal. Are you available to talk? Yes. Absolutely. I'm available. There's a pause. In that pause, my entire future hangs suspended. Everything I've worked for. Everything I've sacrificed. Every hour of sleep I've lost. Every dollar I've scraped together. Every moment of doubt I pushed through. Good, he says. We've completed our due diligence on ManuConnect. My team has been reviewing your business for the past 3 weeks. Looking at your technology, your user base, your financials, your market opportunity. Everything. Another pause. I've stopped walking. I'm standing in my parents' hallway, in front of a family photo from when I was 12, before everything got complicated, and I literally cannot breathe. And? I managed to ask. And we're impressed, Daniel. Very impressed. The team is unanimous. I'm impressed. We'd like to move forward with the investment. The world stops. Actually stops. Time freezes and the earth stops rotating, and I'm suspended in this single perfect moment of validation. You want to invest? My voice sounds strange. Distant. $2 million, like you requested. Though we'd like to structure it as $1.5 million initial investment with $500,000 contingent on hitting your 6-month user acquisition targets. We think that's fair given the risk profile of an early-stage platform business. Does that work for you? Does that work for me? Does $2 million in investment capital work for me? That's more than fair, I say. My voice is steadier now. Professional. Like I get calls about multi-million-dollar investments every day. That's perfect. I can absolutely hit those targets. I'll exceed them. I know you will. Your beta numbers are exceptional. 23% month-over-month growth in active users. 18% average cost savings for both manufacturers and retailers. 91% user retention rate. Those are outstanding metrics for a pre-launch platform. He's reciting my numbers back to me. The numbers I've obsessed over for 18 months. He's not just offering money. He's telling me he sees what I built. That it's real. That it matters. Thank you, I say. I've worked really hard to build something that solves a genuine problem. It shows. There's just one thing I need to clarify before we move forward. And there it is. The catch. The complication. The thing that's going to derail everything. My stomach drops. What's that? We received some additional documentation about your business last week. Some revised financial projections that were more conservative than what you presented in your initial pitch. I wanted to confirm which numbers you're standing behind. I freeze completely. Every muscle in my body goes rigid. I'm sorry, what additional documentation? The revised projections. They were sent from your business email address last Monday. November 20th. A 30-page document with updated financial models and risk analysis. November 20th. Last Monday. 5 days ago. I haven't sent anything to Meridian Capital since my initial pitch 3 weeks ago. Haven't touched those files. Haven't communicated with his office at all except for a brief thank you email the day after our meeting. Mr. Chen, I didn't send you anything last Monday. I haven't sent you anything since our meeting. Silence on the other end. Complete silence. I can hear him breathing, can almost hear him thinking. You didn't send a document titled ManuConnect Revised Financial Analysis and Risk Assessment? No. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. More silence. I can hear typing now. Fast typing. He's looking something up. That's very interesting, he says slowly. Because it came from your email address. Daniel.morrison@manuconnect.com, and it included access to financial documents I didn't have before. Bank statements. Vendor contracts. Beta tester agreements. Internal communications. My blood runs cold. Actually cold. I can feel the temperature drop in my body. Someone accessed my files. Someone got into my email. Someone sent documents to Meridian Capital without my knowledge or permission. Someone tried to sabotage this deal. Mr. Chen, I say, and my voice is shaking now, someone has compromised my email account. Whatever you received last Monday, it wasn't from me. I need to know, can you tell me what the documents said? What did they show? Another pause. Longer this time. I can hear him clicking through something on his computer. They painted a significantly less optimistic picture of your business. Showed higher customer acquisition costs than your original projections. Lower user retention rates. More volatile revenue patterns. Vendor relationships that appeared less stable than you'd indicated. Several red flags around cash flow management and operational sustainability. Each word is a knife. Someone deliberately created a false analysis of my business. Took my real data and twisted it to make everything look worse. Made me look incompetent. Made my business look like a bad investment. None of that is true, I say. My original numbers are accurate. I can prove every single figure I presented to you. I believe you, Daniel. Because we did our own independent analysis. We hired a third-party firm to validate your numbers. We talked to your users directly. We reviewed your actual bank statements and vendor contracts. And everything matched your original pitch. The numbers were solid. Relief floods through me. They did their own due diligence. They didn't just rely on the fake documents. So these revised projections, he continues, they appeared to be deliberately pessimistic. Almost like someone was trying to make your business look worse than it actually is. Trying to tank the deal. That's exactly what someone was trying to do. The question is who? And why? I look back toward the dining room. I can hear voices. Laughter. The clink of silverware on plates. My family, enjoying their Thanksgiving dinner, completely unaware that I'm standing in the hallway learning that someone betrayed me. But who? Who knew about Meridian Capital? Who knew about the pitch? Who would want to sabotage my business? I'm going to find out, I say. Can you forward me the email? I need to see exactly what was sent and when. I'll send it right now. Daniel, I want to be very clear about something. This situation doesn't change our decision. We're still moving forward with the investment. But you need to secure your data immediately. If someone has access to your business email and confidential documents, that's a serious security risk. I understand. I'll handle it immediately. We'll also need to add some protective clauses to the investment agreement. Specifically around information security and unauthorized access to company data. My legal team will draft something. That makes sense. Whatever you need. Good. There's a warmth in his voice now. Almost fatherly. And Daniel? Congratulations. You've built something really special here. Don't let whoever did this make you doubt that. Thank you, Mr. Chen. That means more than you know. We'll have contracts ready for your review on Monday. In the meantime, secure your systems and try to enjoy the rest of your holiday. You've earned it. The call ends. I stand there in the hallway, phone in my hand, mind racing at 1,000 miles per hour. $2 million. The deal is happening. Everything I've worked for is finally coming together. But someone tried to destroy it. Someone who had access to my email. Access to my files. Access to confidential business documents. Someone who knew about the Meridian pitch. Someone who wanted me to fail badly enough to commit fraud. I pull up my email app with shaking fingers. There's the forwarded email from Marcus Chen, sent just now. I open it. Subject, ManuConnect Revised Financial Analysis and Risk Assessment. From Daniel.Morrison@ManuConnect.com. To mchen@meridiancapital.com, jwu@meridiancapital.com, rthompson@meridiancapital.com, skumar@meridiancapital.com. Date, November 20th, 3:47 p.m. Dear Mr. Chen and Meridian Capital Investment Team. After further reflection on our meeting, I wanted to provide you with a more comprehensive and realistic analysis of ManuConnect's financial position and growth projections. Upon deeper review of our numbers, I've identified several areas where my initial projections may have been overly optimistic. I believe in transparency with potential investors, and I think it's important that you have the most accurate picture possible before making your decision. Please find attached a revised financial model with updated projections based on more conservative assumptions. Best regards. Daniel Morrison. Founder, ManuConnect. I read it 3 times. It's good. It's convincing. It sounds exactly like something an honest, slightly anxious entrepreneur might send after having second thoughts about his pitch. But I didn't write it. I opened the attachment. 30 pages of detailed financial analysis. Whoever created this knew what they were doing. The documents look professional. The analysis is sophisticated. The numbers are just close enough to my real numbers to be believable, but twisted to paint the worst possible picture. Customer acquisition cost, they changed it from $47 to $93 per user. Almost double. User retention rate, changed from 91% to 68%. Still not terrible, but significantly worse. Revenue volatility, they took my steadiest revenue months and called them anomalies. Took my slowest months and called them the trend. Vendor stability, they highlighted every vendor I'd had even minor issues with and ignored all my strong, reliable partnerships. This wasn't just someone taking a guess at my numbers. This was someone who had detailed access to my actual data and deliberately misrepresented it. I scrolled down to the email signature. Best regards. Daniel Morrison. Founder, ManuConnect. My real signature includes my phone number, my LinkedIn profile, and the ManuConnect website. This one doesn't. Small detail. Easy to miss. But it's there. Someone created this email from my account but didn't quite get the signature right. I open my email app and navigate to my sent folder. I scroll to November 20th. There's nothing sent to Meridian Capital. Nothing sent to anyone from Meridian. Which means whoever did this deleted the sent message from my account after sending it. But they couldn't delete it from Meridian's inbox. I'm already pulling up my email security settings, navigating to the access log. It takes me a minute to find the right menu. I'm not exactly a tech security expert, but eventually I get to the login history. And there it is. November 20th, 3:47 p.m. Login from IP address 24.157.193.44. Location, downtown area, approximately 2.3 miles from my apartment. Session duration, 8 minutes. I click on the IP address and run it through a location lookup tool. The results show an area downtown. Near the business district. Near the law firms and corporate offices. Near Claire's office. My sister. My brilliant, successful, accomplished lawyer sister. The only person in my family I told about Meridian Capital. I told her 6 months ago. We'd met for coffee, one of our rare one-on-one meetings. I'd been excited. Hopeful. I'd shared my entire plan for ManuConnect. Showed her my progress. Told her I was going to pitch to Meridian Capital. She'd seemed supportive. Asked intelligent questions. Offered to review my pitch deck with her legal expertise. And I'd sent her everything. The business plan. The financial projections. The pitch deck. The vendor contracts. Everything. All from my business email, which she would have had in her contacts. And I'd given her my email password 6 months ago when she'd offered to help me organize my digital files. You're drowning in disorganization, Danny, she'd said. Let me help you set up a proper filing system. I'd been grateful. Relieved. My perfect sister was finally taking an interest in my business, offering real help instead of mockery. I'd given her complete access to my email account. And she'd used it to try to destroy me. My hands are shaking again, but not from nerves this time. From rage. Pure, white-hot rage. I'm staring at that IP address, at the timestamp, at the evidence of betrayal, and I can feel something inside me hardening into diamond-sharp clarity. My sister tried to sabotage my business. Accessed my confidential files. Created fake documents. Sent them to my potential investors under my name. Tried to kill the biggest opportunity of my life. The question is why? I hear footsteps behind me. I close my phone quickly and turn around. It's my mother. She's standing in the hallway, concern etched across her face. Danny? You've been out here for 15 minutes. Everything okay? I look at her. Really look at her. Does she know? Is she in on this? Or is she completely oblivious to what her daughter has done? Everything's fine, Mom, I say. My voice sounds surprisingly normal. Just had to handle a work thing. On Thanksgiving? That must be some important work. It is. Very important. She steps closer, touching my arm. You look upset, honey. What's going on? I almost tell her. Almost explain what just happened. But something stops me. Because I need to think this through. I need to understand the full scope of what Claire did before I expose her. I need to be strategic. And part of me, the part that still wants to believe in family, needs to confront Claire first. Needs to hear her explain why she did this. Needs to give her a chance to come clean. Just some stressful business stuff, I say. Nothing to worry about. You work too hard, Danny. You're always chasing these big dreams. Sometimes I wonder if you'd be happier with a simpler life. A regular job. Less stress. There it is. The subtle undermining. The gentle suggestion that my ambitions are the problem, not my family's lack of support. I'm happy with my life, Mom. I'm building something I believe in. I know, honey. I just worry about you. We all do. I appreciate that. She smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes. Come back to dinner. Your father wants to carve the second turkey, and you know how he likes the whole family present for his big moment. I'll be right there. She nods and heads back to the dining room. I stay in the hallway for another minute, composing myself. Planning my next move. I could confront Claire right now. In front of everyone. Expose what she did. Show them the evidence. Watch her perfect facade crumble. But that feels reactive. Emotional. And Claire is a lawyer. She's trained to deflect, to argue, to create doubt. If I confront her without a clear plan, she'll find a way to spin it. To make me look paranoid or vindictive. No. I need to be smart about this. I need to understand her motive. I need more evidence. I need to see if anyone else was involved. And then I need to destroy her credibility so thoroughly that she can never dismiss me or mock me or undermine me again. I walk back to the dining room. Everyone's still eating, still talking, still acting like this is a normal family Thanksgiving. Claire is telling a story about a difficult client. Everyone's listening with rapt attention. She's animated, confident, completely at ease. I sit down and pick up my fork. Start eating like nothing happened. Everything sorted with your work crisis? My father asks. All handled, I say. Actually, it was good news. Really good news. The table goes quiet. Everyone's looking at me now. Oh? Claire says. There's something sharp in her tone. What kind of good news? Just closed a major deal. Big investment for my company. Complete silence. No one's eating anymore. They're all staring at me like I'd just spoken a foreign language. Then my Uncle Jim laughs. An investment? For ManuConnect? Danny, who would invest in that? Meridian Capital, I say calmly. $2 million. The silence gets heavier. thicker. My father puts down his fork very carefully. Danny, that's a very big claim. Meridian Capital is one of the largest investment firms in the region. I know who they are, Dad. I've been working with them for the past 3 weeks. Working with them? Claire's voice is sharp now. Alarmed. What does that mean? It means I pitched them 3 weeks ago. They did their due diligence. And they just called to confirm the investment. $2 million for ManuConnect. My mother's hand has gone to her chest. $2 million? Danny, that's wonderful. Why didn't you tell us you were pursuing this? Because I wanted to wait until it was confirmed. I didn't want to jinx it. Or be mocked for it, I don't say. Or have it turned into another punchline at the next family dinner. That's incredible, Danny, my brother Marcus says. He actually sounds genuine. Congratulations. Thank you. Claire is very still. Her wine glass is frozen halfway to her mouth. She's staring at me with an expression I've never seen before. Fear. When did they call? She asks. Her voice is too casual. Too controlled. Just now. That phone call I took. That was Marcus Chen himself. CEO of Meridian Capital. And he just called you? On Thanksgiving? To tell you about a $2 million investment? Yes, Claire. That's exactly what happened. That's unusual, she says. CEOs don't typically make those calls themselves. That's what junior partners are for. Maybe I made an impression. Or maybe you're confused about what the call actually meant. Sometimes investors will say they're interested, but that doesn't mean. He was very clear, Claire. Contracts are being drawn up Monday. 1.5 million initial investment, 500,000 contingent on hitting 6-month targets. Very straightforward. She's gone pale. Actually pale. My father is looking between us, sensing something beneath the surface. This is wonderful news, son. Really wonderful. I have to admit, I didn't think ManuConnect was going to go anywhere. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Thanks, Dad. $2 million, my Uncle Jim whistles. That's serious money. What's your company worth now? Pre-money valuation is $8 million. Post-money will be $10 million once the investment closes. More stunned silence. You're telling us your company is worth $10 million? My Aunt Linda asks. That's what Meridian valued it at, yes. My brother is grinning now. Danny, that's amazing. I had no idea you were operating at that level. Most people didn't, I say. And I'm looking directly at Claire when I say it. She looks away. Well, this calls for a toast, my father says, standing up with his wine glass. To Daniel. To ManuConnect. To proving us all wrong. Everyone raises their glasses. Even Claire, though her hand is shaking slightly. To Daniel, they all echo. We drink. And I watch Claire over the rim of my glass. Watch her trying to compose her face. Trying to process what this means. Her sabotage failed. Not only failed, it backfired spectacularly. Because Meridian did their own due diligence. Because they didn't trust the fake documents she sent. And now she's sitting at this table, watching me succeed, knowing she tried to destroy me and failed. The rest of dinner is a blur of questions and congratulations. My father wants to know about the business model. My uncle wants to know about revenue projections. My aunt wants to know if I'm hiring. Claire says nothing. Just sits there, pushing food around her plate, drinking wine faster than usual. My mother keeps looking at me with this expression of confused pride. Like she's happy for me but also struggling to reconcile this success with her image of me as the family screw-up. Around 8 p.m., people start leaving. My uncle and aunt first, with promises to talk more about the business soon. Then my brother, who has an early surgery tomorrow. Soon it's just me, my parents, and Claire. We're in the living room now. My father is scrolling through articles about Meridian Capital on his phone, like he's trying to verify that they're real and that this isn't all some elaborate delusion I've created. My mother is asking gentle questions about when I started working on this, why I didn't tell them, whether I've been eating enough while working so hard. And Claire is sitting in the corner chair, very quiet, very still. "Claire, you're awfully quiet," my mother observes. "You feeling okay?" "Just tired," Claire says. "Long week at work." "You must be so proud of your brother," my father says. $2 million. That's more than your first-year salary at the firm, isn't it? Something flashes across Claire's face. Yes. It is. And to think, we were all joking about his entrepreneurship just a few hours ago, my mother says, laughing a little. I feel terrible about that now. Don't feel terrible, Mom, I say. I'm used to it. The words come out harder than I intended. Sharper. My mother looks hurt. Danny, we were just teasing. We love you. I know you love me. But loving someone and believing in them are two different things. Uncomfortable silence. That's not fair, my father says. We've always supported you. Have you, Dad? Really? Or have you just tolerated my attempts while waiting for me to give up and get a normal job? Danny? It's fine. I'm not looking for an apology. I'm just pointing out that I built a $10 million company without any of you believing I could do it. And honestly, that probably made me work harder. More silence. Claire stands up abruptly. I should go. Early morning tomorrow. On the day after Thanksgiving? I ask. What law firm makes people work the Friday after Thanksgiving? I have a case I need to prepare for. A big one. Stay a little longer, my mother pleads. We barely got to visit with you. I really need to go. Claire is grabbing her coat, her purse, moving toward the door with urgency that feels like escape. Claire, wait, I say. She freezes. Turns slowly. Can we talk for a minute? Outside? Fear flashes across her face again. About what? About my business. I'd love your legal perspective on the investment contract. Since you're so good at reviewing my business documents. The emphasis on reviewing is slight. But she catches it. I see her catch it. I really don't have time tonight. It'll just take 5 minutes. Please. I could really use your expertise. She looks trapped. If she refuses, it'll look suspicious. Like she has something to hide. Fine. 5 minutes. We step outside into the cold November night. The porch light casts long shadows. I can see our breath in the air. What do you want, Danny? She asks. I want to know why you did it. Did what? Don't play dumb, Claire. I know you accessed my email. I know you sent those fake financial documents to Meridian. I have the IP address. I have the timestamp. I have everything. She goes completely still. For a long moment, she just stares at me. Then she says, I don't know what you're talking about. Last Monday. November 20th. 3:47 p.m. You logged into my email from your office and sent a 30-page document to Meridian Capital designed to tank my investment deal. Want to keep pretending you don't know what I'm talking about? She's shaking now. Actually shaking. You're paranoid. Am I? Should we go inside and show Mom and Dad the access logs? The IP address that traces to your office? The fake email signature that doesn't match my real one? You can't prove it was me. Actually, I can. And you know what? Marcus Chen was pretty concerned when I told him someone had compromised my email and sent fraudulent documents to his firm. He mentioned something about involving law enforcement. Computer fraud. Identity theft. Seems like serious crimes, Claire. Her face crumbles. Literally crumbles. I was trying to protect you. Protect me? By sabotaging my business? By preventing you from failing publicly? Danny, your projections were overly optimistic. Anyone with basic financial knowledge could see that. I was trying to show Meridian the reality before they invested, and then you lost everything and embarrassed yourself. My projections were accurate. Meridian confirmed that with their own independent analysis. So your protection was actually just sabotage based on your assumption that I'm incompetent. That's not what I thought. Then what did you think, Claire? Walk me through it. You accessed my private email. You reviewed my confidential business documents. You created fake financial analyses. You sent them to my investors under my name. At what point in that process were you protecting me? She's crying now. Actual tears streaming down her face. I couldn't watch you fail again. Not like the others. Not with this much money on the line. So you decided to make me fail instead? To ensure it? I thought they'd reject you based on the real numbers. I thought they'd see the truth and pass, and you'd be disappointed but you'd survive. I didn't think. You didn't think they'd do their own homework. You didn't think they'd verify my claims. You thought your fake documents would be the end of it. She wipes her eyes, smearing mascara. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I made a terrible mistake. Why, Claire? That's what I actually want to know. Why would you do this to me? She looks at me for a long time. And something in her expression shifts. Hardens. You want the truth? Yes. I want the truth. Fine. Because I was terrified of you succeeding. The words hang in the cold air between us. Why? Because you're brilliant, Danny. You always have been. Your ideas are innovative and bold and creative in ways I could never be. I became a lawyer because it was safe. Predictable. A guaranteed path to success. But you? You're actually trying to build something meaningful. Something that could change an entire industry. And that threatened you. Of course it threatened me. I'm the successful one. That's my role in this family. I'm the one Mom and Dad are proud of. The one who made it. And if you suddenly became more successful than me, if your company took off and made you wealthy and famous, what would that make me? Successful in your own right? Happy for your brother? She laughs bitterly. You don't understand. My whole identity is built on being the child who succeeded while you struggled. If you stop struggling, if you stop being the screw-up, then who am I? And there it is. The ugly truth. So you tried to destroy my business to protect your ego. I tried to preserve the family dynamic. You don't know what it's like being the perfect one, Danny. The pressure. The expectations. Every single thing I do is scrutinized. I can never fail. Never stumble. Never be anything less than exceptional. And you thought keeping me down would somehow relieve that pressure? I thought if you failed again, at least things would stay normal. Predictable. Safe. I stare at my sister. This person I've known my entire life. This person I've looked up to, envied, resented, loved. You're not the person I thought you were, I say quietly. Neither are you, she shoots back. You were supposed to be the family screw-up. The cautionary tale. And now you're succeeding and it's ruining everything. Claire, I need you to hear this very clearly. What you did was illegal. It was fraud. It was identity theft. It could have cost me everything. And the only reason I'm not calling the police right now is because you're my sister. So what, you're just going to hold it over me forever? No. I'm going to give you a choice. You can come clean to Mom and Dad tonight. Tell them exactly what you did. Apologize genuinely. And commit to therapy to figure out why you're so threatened by your own brother's success. Or I go to the police tomorrow. And Meridian's legal team is ready to support a prosecution. Computer fraud, Claire. That's federal charges. Could cost you your law license. Your career. Everything you've built. Her face goes white. You wouldn't. Try me. You tried to destroy my business. My livelihood. My dream. Why should I protect you? Because I'm your sister. And I was your brother when you sabotaged me. So that argument doesn't hold much weight right now. We stand there in the cold, staring at each other. Finally, she says, "What do you want me to say to them?" The truth. All of it. Why you did it, how close you came to succeeding. And then I want you to apologize. Not to me. I don't care about your apology. I want you to apologize to them for lying to this family about who you really are. That's cruel. So was what you did to me. She looks at the door. At the warm light inside where our parents are probably wondering what we're talking about. If I do this, if I tell them everything, they'll be devastated. Mom will cry for days. Dad will be so disappointed. That's not my problem, Claire. You made the choice to betray me. Now you get to live with the consequences. I hate you right now. That's fair. I'm not too fond of you either. She takes a shaky breath. Fine. Let's get this over with. We walk back inside. My parents are still in the living room. They look up when we enter, concern on both their faces. Everything okay? My mother asks. No, Mom, Claire says. Her voice is trembling. Everything's not okay. I need to tell you something. Something I did. Something terrible. And there, in my parents' living room on Thanksgiving night, Claire confesses everything. She tells them about accessing my email. About creating the fake documents. About sending them to Meridian Capital. About trying to sabotage my investment deal. My mother starts crying halfway through. My father's face goes through shock, confusion, anger, and finally settles on something that looks like profound disappointment. Why would you do that? My mother keeps asking. Why would you hurt your brother like that? And Claire tells them. About her insecurity. About her fear of being overshadowed. About her need to be the successful one. About how my achievement threatened her identity. It's brutal to watch. My perfect sister, falling apart in front of our parents. The golden child, tarnished and exposed. Part of me feels vindicated. This is justice. This is her facing consequences for her actions. But part of me just feels sad. Because our family is broken. Because this betrayal can't be undone. Because even if we move past this, nothing will ever be the same. My father stands up when she finishes. His face is hard. Claire, I don't even know what to say to you. I'm horrified. Truly horrified. Dad, I'm sorry. You committed a crime against your own brother. You tried to destroy his business out of jealousy. That's unforgivable. I know. I know it is. I'm going to make it right. How? How do you make this right? She has no answer. My mother is still crying. How could you, Claire? How could you do this to Danny? To our family? I don't know, Mom. I don't know. I was scared and stupid and I made a terrible choice. A terrible choice is forgetting someone's birthday, my father says. This was calculated. Premeditated. You accessed his private files, created fake documents, impersonated him to his investors. That's not a mistake. That's malicious. Claire is sobbing now. Full, heaving sobs. I stand there watching, feeling oddly detached from the whole scene. This is what I wanted, right? For Claire to be exposed. For my parents to see who she really is. For there to be consequences. So why do I feel so empty? Danny, my father says, turning to me. I am so sorry. Sorry that this happened. Sorry that we didn't see it. Sorry for years of not taking you seriously. It's okay, Dad. It's not okay. Nothing about this is okay. You've built something incredible and your own sister tried to destroy it. That's unconscionable. My mother comes over and hugs me. She's still crying. I'm so proud of you, honey. So proud of what you've built. And I'm so sorry we didn't support you the way we should have. Thanks, Mom. Are you going to press charges? My father asks. Because you'd be well within your rights. I look at Claire. She's collapsed in a chair, face in her hands, shoulders shaking. No, I say finally. I'm not going to press charges. But Claire needs to get help. Real help. Therapy. And she needs to stay completely out of my business and my life for a while. Agreed, my father says. Claire, you're going to find a therapist this week. And you're going to figure out what's broken inside you that made you do this. She nods without looking up. And you're going to apologize to Danny. A real apology. Not this crying and self-pity. A genuine acknowledgement of what you did and the harm you caused. I will, she whispers. But I don't want her apology. Not now. Maybe not ever. I grab my coat. I'm going to head home. Danny, you don't have to leave, my mother says. Stay. We can talk more. I think I've had enough family time for one day. My father walks me to the door. Son, I mean what I said. I'm proud of you. Not just for the business. For handling this with more grace than it deserved. Thanks, Dad. And I want to be more involved going forward. I want to hear about your business. Your plans. I want to actually support you, not just tolerate your ambitions. I'd like that. He hugs me. An actual hug, not the usual awkward shoulder pat. I drive home in a daze. The whole night feels surreal. Like I'm in someone else's life. This morning, I was the family screw-up. The punchline. The one everyone pitted or mocked. Now I'm the successful entrepreneur with a multi-million-dollar investment. And my perfect sister is the one who betrayed the family. The world has flipped upside down. Back in my apartment, I pour myself a drink and sit on my couch, staring at nothing. My phone buzzes. A text from my brother Marcus. Mom just called and told me what happened. I'm so sorry, Danny. What Claire did is unforgivable. For what it's worth, I've always known you were talented. I just never said it out loud. I'm sorry for that too. I stare at the text for a long time before responding, thanks. That means more than you know. Another text comes through. This one from an unknown number. Daniel, this is Jennifer Wu from Meridian Capital. I'm the attorney working on your investment agreement. Marcus asked me to reach out. We've reviewed the situation with the unauthorized email, and we want to ensure you're taking appropriate security measures going forward. I text back, changed all passwords and enabled two-factor authentication. Also identified who was responsible. Her response is immediate, good. We'd like to discuss adding protective clauses to the investment agreement. Specifically around information security and fraud prevention. Also, Meridian is prepared to provide legal support if you choose to pursue criminal charges. What was done to you is serious, and we take it very seriously. I think about Claire. About her career. About what criminal charges would do to her life. I appreciate that. For now, I'm handling it privately. But I'll let you know if that changes. Understood. Congratulations again on the investment. We're excited to partner with you. I set my phone down and close my eyes. The next few days blur together. I change all my passwords, implement new security protocols, notify my existing users about the breach, assure them that no customer data was compromised. The contract from Meridian arrives Monday morning. I review it with my own lawyer, not Claire, obviously. It's fair, straightforward, everything we discussed. I sign it Tuesday afternoon. The wire transfer hits my business account Wednesday morning. $1.5 million. I stare at my bank balance for a long time, not quite believing it's real. Wednesday afternoon, I get a call from a journalist. She's writing an article about innovative startups to watch in the new year. Someone at Meridian mentioned ManuConnect. We do the interview. I talk about the business model, the growth potential, the problem we're solving. She asks about my journey, my struggles, how I kept going despite multiple failures. I tell her about years of being underestimated. Of people, family, friends, colleagues, who saw my ambitions as delusions. Of learning to believe in myself when no one else did. I don't mention Claire specifically. But I do talk about sabotage. About someone trying to derail the Meridian investment at the last minute. About how Meridian's thorough due diligence saved the deal. Who would try to sabotage you like that, she asks. Someone who felt threatened by my success, I say. Someone who needed me to fail so they could continue to succeed. Someone close to you? Very close. She doesn't push for details, but I can tell she understands. Family betrayal. It's a story as old as time. The article runs 2 weeks later. It's good. Really good. It paints ManuConnect as an innovative company to watch and me as an entrepreneur who refused to give up despite significant obstacles. My mother texts me a link to the article. So proud of you, honey. We should frame this. I text back a simple thank you. Claire sends a text the same day. I read the article. You're exactly who you said you were. I'm sorry it took me so long to see it. Can we talk? I don't respond. If this story is resonating with you, if you've ever been betrayed by someone who was supposed to support you, hit that like button. Leave a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Tell me how you handled family betrayal. Because I think these stories matter. I think people need to know they're not alone when the people they love hurt them. And subscribe for more stories like this. Real stories about family, betrayal, ambition, and what happens when you refuse to stay small to make other people comfortable. 3 months pass. ManuConnect is growing faster than projected. We've added 87 new manufacturers and 143 new retailers. Revenue is up 42% month over month. Meridian is thrilled. They're already talking about Series B funding in 18 months. I hire my first official employees. A CTO to scale the technology. A head of sales to expand our market reach. A customer success manager to ensure user satisfaction. I move into a better apartment. Not penthouse level like Claire's, but nice. Clean. In a neighborhood I actually want to live in. I buy a new car. Not a Tesla, but a reliable sedan that doesn't make concerning noises. I feel like I'm finally becoming the person I always knew I could be. Claire reaches out every few weeks. Texts mostly. Sometimes emails. Always some variation of I'm sorry and can we talk? I don't respond. My mother calls more often now. She wants to know about the business. Asks questions about revenue and growth and expansion plans. She's actually interested. Actually listening. It feels good. But also a little hollow. Where was this interest 2 years ago? 5 years ago? When I actually needed support and encouragement? My father wants to invest. Personally invest his own money in my next funding round. I believe in you, son. Let me put my money where my mouth should have been all along. I tell him I'll think about it. 6 months after Thanksgiving, I'm at a tech conference in San Francisco. I'm on a panel about innovative business models in supply chain optimization. There are 300 people in the audience. I'm successful now. Respected. People actually listen when I speak. After the panel, several people approach me. Investors wanting to connect. Entrepreneurs wanting advice. Journalists wanting quotes. And in the middle of the crowd, I see a familiar face. Claire. She's standing at the back of the room, wearing a business suit, looking uncertain. I finish my conversations and walk over to her. "What are you doing here?" I ask. "I'm at a legal conference 2 blocks away. I saw you were speaking and I thought." She trails off. "I don't know what I thought. I just wanted to see you. To see how you're doing. You could have called. You don't answer my calls." "There's a reason for that." We stand there awkwardly. People are moving around us, networking, making connections. "You were great up there," Claire says finally. "Confident. Knowledgeable. You really know your stuff." "Thanks. I've been following ManuConnect. The growth is incredible. You're doing exactly what you said you'd do." "I usually do." She flinches at the edge in my voice. "Danny, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know what I did was unforgivable. But I'm asking anyway. Can we talk? Really talk?" I look at my sister. She looks tired. Older than she did 6 months ago. There are dark circles under her eyes. "Are you in therapy?" I ask. "Yes. Twice a week. I've been working on a lot of issues. Control. Competition. Self-worth. My therapist says I have deep-seated insecurity around being replaced." "Good. Keep going. I'm trying to be better. To understand why I did what I did so I never do anything like it again." "That's good, Claire." "Really? But it doesn't change what happened." "I know. I'm not asking you to forget. I'm just asking for a chance to rebuild. Slowly. On your terms." I think about it. Part of me wants to say no. To keep her at a distance forever. To protect myself from ever being betrayed like that again. But part of me remembers growing up with Claire. Before everything got competitive and complicated. When we were just siblings who loved each other. "I'm not ready yet," I say finally. "Maybe someday. But not yet." She nods. "That's fair. That's more than fair. Can I ask one thing though?" "What?" "Are you happy? With everything you've achieved, are you actually happy?" I think about it. Really think about it. "Yeah," I say. "I am. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually happy." She smiles. It's sad but genuine. "Good. You deserve it. You deserve all of it." She turns to leave, then stops. "Danny? Thank you for not pressing charges. Thank you for giving me a chance to fix myself instead of destroying my life. I know I didn't deserve that mercy." "No, you didn't. But you're still my sister. And I'm not in the business of destroying people, even when they try to destroy me." She nods and walks away. I watch her go, feeling a complicated mix of emotions. Anger. Sadness. Relief. Maybe the beginning of something that might eventually become forgiveness. A year after that Thanksgiving, ManuConnect is valued at $43 million. We're operating in 12 states. We have 93 employees. We facilitated over $8 million in transactions. Meridian is preparing for Series B. They want to invest another $8 million at a pre-money valuation of $43 million. I'm 33. I'm a millionaire on paper. I built something real, something lasting, something that matters. And I did it despite the sabotage. Despite the doubts. Despite the family that didn't believe in me until I forced them to. I get invited to speak at my old business school. The one I dropped out of to start my first failed company. The auditorium is packed with students who want to hear about my success story. The dropout who made it. I talk about failure. About my first company that crashed and burned. About my second company that never got off the ground. About years of being the family screw-up while everyone else succeeded. The hardest part wasn't the failure, I tell them. It was the people who made me feel like failure was all I was capable of. The family members who turned my struggles into punchlines. The people who should have supported me but instead made me smaller. I see nods in the audience. Recognition. They understand. I'm not going to tell you to ignore the doubters, I continue. Because that's easier said than done, especially when the doubters are people you love. But I will tell you this, their doubt says more about them than it does about you. Their need to see you fail says more about their insecurities than your capabilities. More nods. Someone very close to me tried to sabotage my business when it was on the verge of success. They accessed my private files. They created fake documents. They sent fraudulent information to my investors. All because my success threatened their identity as the successful one in the family. The auditorium is completely silent now. Everyone's listening. And you know what? They almost succeeded. If my investors hadn't done their own thorough due diligence, I would have lost everything. My business. My opportunity. My dream. I pause, looking out at all those young faces. But they didn't succeed. Because I'd built something too strong to be destroyed by one person's insecurity. Because I created real value that could withstand scrutiny. Because I believed in what I was doing even when no one else did. I see a few people wiping their eyes. So here's my advice to you, build something so good, so valuable, so undeniable that no one can sabotage it. Not your family. Not your friends. Not your competitors. Build something that speaks for itself. And then, when someone tries to tear you down, you'll have the foundation to withstand it. The applause is overwhelming. After the talk, a young woman approaches me. She looks like she's been crying. Thank you, she says. Thank you for talking about family betrayal. My brother stole my business idea and pitched it to investors before I could. Everyone thinks I'm the one copying him. I've been so angry and hurt, and I thought I was crazy for feeling that way. For being mad at family. You're not crazy, I tell her. And you're not wrong for being angry. What he did was wrong. What my sister did was wrong. Family doesn't make betrayal okay. What did you do? How did you move past it? I haven't moved past it. Not really. I've moved forward. There's a difference. Moving past implies forgetting, forgiving, going back to how things were. Moving forward means accepting what happened and building a life anyway. She nods. That makes sense. And for what it's worth, if your idea was good enough for him to steal, it's good enough for you to build again. Better this time. With security and protections in place. She smiles through her tears. Thank you. Really. Thank you. That night, I'm back in my hotel room, and I get a call from my mother. Danny, I just watched the video of your talk at the business school. Someone posted it online. Oh. Yeah, they said they'd record it. You talked about Claire. I didn't mention her by name. Everyone in our family will know who you meant. Mom, I told the truth. About what happened. About how it affected me. I'm sorry if that's uncomfortable for you, but it's my story to tell. She's quiet for a moment. You're right. It is your story. And I'm sorry that we made you feel like you couldn't tell it. Like you had to protect Claire's reputation. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was trying to help other people who've been through similar things. I know, honey. And what you said was important. I wish things had been different. I wish we'd supported you from the beginning. I wish Claire hadn't done what she did. I wish a lot of things. Me too, Mom. But I'm proud of who you've become. Not just the success, though that's wonderful. But the person you are. The way you handled everything. You could have been bitter and vindictive. Instead, you were strong and focused, and you built something amazing. Thanks, Mom. That means a lot. Your father and I want to take you to dinner next week. When you're back in town. Just the three of us. No Claire, no Marcus. Just us. We want to hear about your business. Really hear about it. And we want to apologize properly for years of not listening. I feel tears stinging my eyes. I'd like that. Good. We love you, Danny. We're so sorry we didn't show it the way we should have. After we hang up, I sit there for a long time, processing. 2 years ago, I was sitting at a Thanksgiving table, being mocked by my entire family. My sister was actively sabotaging my business. My parents thought I was a perpetual screw-up. My siblings barely took me seriously. Now I'm a successful CEO. I'm speaking at conferences. I'm being interviewed by journalists. I'm building something that matters. And my family is finally seeing me. Really seeing me. It shouldn't have taken this much success for them to take me seriously. I shouldn't have had to become a millionaire for them to believe in me. But that's the reality. And I'm learning to accept it while also protecting myself from future betrayal. 18 months after that Thanksgiving, ManuConnect goes public. IPO values the company at $412 million. I'm 35. On paper, I'm worth $107 million. I'm a successful CEO. I built something real. Something lasting. Something that's changing an entire industry. The IPO bell-ringing ceremony at the stock exchange is one of the proudest moments of my life. Press everywhere. Investors celebrating. Employees crying happy tears. My parents are there. My brother is there. My uncle and aunt are there. And Claire is there too. I didn't invite her. My mother did, after asking if it was okay first. I'd hesitated for a long time before saying yes. We haven't spoken much over the past 18 months. Occasional texts on birthdays and holidays. One awkward coffee meeting where we mostly talked about the weather and her therapy progress. But she's still my sister. And some part of me wanted her to see this. To see what I built despite her attempts to destroy it. After the ceremony, after the photos and the interviews and the champagne toasts, Claire pulls me aside. We step into a quiet corner away from the crowd. Congratulations, she says. This is incredible, Danny. You should be so proud. I am. I'm proud of you too. I know I have no right to say that after what I did. But I am. Thank you. We stand there awkwardly. So much unsaid between us. I've been thinking about that night, she says finally. Thanksgiving, when everything came out. I was so angry at you for exposing me. For making me confess in front of Mom and Dad. But you were right to do it. I needed to face consequences. I needed to hit rock bottom before I could start fixing myself. How's that going? The fixing yourself part? Slowly. Really slowly. But I'm getting there. I quit my job at the firm. I look at her in surprise. You quit? 6 months ago. The corporate lawyer thing was making me miserable. I was measuring my worth by my salary and my title and my success compared to everyone else. It was toxic. What are you doing now? I'm working at a nonprofit legal aid clinic. Helping people who can't afford lawyers. The pay is terrible. I had to move to a smaller apartment. I sold my Tesla. I can't afford designer suits anymore. But are you happy? She thinks about it. Happier. Not all the way there yet. But happier than I was. That's good, Claire. Really. I'm also working on accepting that you're more successful than me. That you built something bigger and more important than I ever will. My therapist says I need to stop comparing myself to you. To stop seeing your success as my failure. You didn't fail, Claire. You just chose a different path. A safer path. A more conventional path. While you took risks and built something amazing. Different doesn't mean less valuable. She smiles sadly. You're being generous. More generous than I deserve. Maybe. But I'm tired of being angry. It's exhausting. And it's not helping me build my company. Are we okay? She asks. Will we ever be okay? I think about it. Really think about it. I don't know. Maybe someday. We're not there yet. But we're closer than we were? Yeah. We're closer. She hugs me. I let her. It's brief and awkward, but it's something. Thank you, she whispers. For not completely giving up on me. You're my sister. I don't know how to completely give up on you. That evening, after all the celebrations are over, I'm back in my apartment. My much nicer apartment. In a building with a doorman and a view. I'm looking at my phone, scrolling through messages. Congratulations from colleagues and investors and friends. And I'm thinking about that Thanksgiving dinner 2 years ago. I'm thinking about sitting at that table, being mocked, feeling small and insignificant. I'm thinking about my phone ringing. Marcus Chen's name on the screen. I'm thinking about the choice I made in that moment. To answer the call. To stand up for myself. To refuse to stay small. Everything changed because I answered that phone. If I'd let it go to voicemail. If I'd stayed at the table. If I'd accepted my role as the family screw-up. None of this would have happened. I wouldn't have discovered Claire's sabotage. Wouldn't have confronted her. Wouldn't have forced my family to see me as I actually am. I would still be invisible. Still be the punchline. Still be waiting for permission to be successful. But I answered the call. And everything changed. Not just my business. Not just my bank account. But my understanding of family. Of loyalty. Of what I deserve. I learned that being strong enough to do it alone doesn't mean you should have to. That independence isn't the same as not needing support. That just because you can handle betrayal doesn't mean it's okay. I learned that your worth isn't determined by other people's perception of you. That your success doesn't require anyone's permission. That your dreams don't need validation from people who can't see their value. I learned that sometimes the people who should love you most are the ones who hurt you deepest. And that's not your fault. That's their failure, not yours. Before I finish, I want to say something to anyone watching this who's in a similar situation. Anyone who's being underestimated by their family. Anyone whose achievements are being dismissed or mocked. Anyone who's been betrayed by someone they trusted. You are not invisible because you're competent. You are not unworthy because you're independent. You are not less important because you don't need rescuing. You matter. Your story matters. Your dreams matter. Your achievements matter. And you deserve better than people who make you small to make themselves feel big. So here's my challenge to you: build something so undeniable that no one can sabotage it. Create value so real that it survives scrutiny. Believe in yourself so completely that other people's doubts become irrelevant. And when your moment comes, when opportunity calls, when you have to choose between staying comfortable and standing tall, answer the call. Don't let it go to voicemail. Don't stay at the table with people who mock you. Don't make yourself small to make them comfortable. Answer the call. Stand up. Choose yourself. Because your success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. They mocked me at Thanksgiving. My sister tried to destroy my business. My family didn't believe in me. But I answered the call anyway. And everything changed. That's my story. That's what happened when my phone rang at the table. Now tell me yours. Comment below. Where are you watching from? Have you ever been betrayed by family? Have you ever had to choose between their approval and your dreams? How did you handle it? Hit that like button if this story resonated with you. If you understand what it feels like to be underestimated by the people who should champion you. Subscribe for more stories like this. Real stories about family, betrayal, ambition, and the courage to choose yourself even when it costs you everything. Because sometimes the phone rings at exactly the wrong moment. And sometimes that's exactly when you need to answer it. My family mocked me. My sister sabotaged me. My parents didn't believe in me. But I built a $400 million company anyway. And that's the real ending. Not revenge. Not reconciliation. Just me, succeeding despite everything, and finally understanding that I was never the problem. They were. And once I understood that, once I really internalized it, I was free. Free to build. Free to succeed. Free to be exactly who I was meant to be. That's what I want for you too. Freedom from other people's limitations. Freedom to be undeniably, unapologetically successful. Freedom to answer the call when it comes. Even if it rings at the worst possible moment. Especially then. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this community of people who refuse to stay small. Now go build something amazing. And when your phone rings, answer it.